Hello, have you ever feel anxious and worried? Or have you ever suffer from physical symptoms such as sweaty palms, inability to sleep, and shaking when you have a presentation or big speech? In this video, we will have a solution for you. In this video, you will learn first 5 steps in writing process for developing effective paper. Second, research information through the library and online, which will help you develop your content and you can speak better content. Third, use strategies for giving effective presentation. And finally, overcome speech anxiety, which is the main point. Alright, so if you're ready, let's go for the first one. Alright, so before we start, let me introduce you the importance of writing and speaking. The ability to communicate clearly, both orally and writing, is the most important skills, because in the future you have many presentations in the university, and when you graduated university you have a lot of presentation when you are at work, such as the pitch. You have to pitch your business program, and for example you have to present your yearly plan for the boss, and all of that requires speaking and writing skill. So the ability to organize and express ideas is in the writing and speaking. So if you have poor speaking and writing skill, even though you have brilliant ideas, but you can't communicate it out, so what's the point? If you can think something's great and you cannot explain it, you cannot tell the information to other people, that's mean nothing. So in the future, as I told you, you may be asked to do research on new ideas, products, procedures, and programs, which require these skills. Many people face anxiety when they speaking, so public speaking is the greatest fear for most of people. So this is the very important skill to learn before you step in the university, because you can reduce speech anxiety. If you know this before, you have to know how to prepare for your speech, prepare for your content, to develop your content in order to express your idea. That's it. So let's begin. The writing processes have 5 big processes, which is prepare, organize, write, edit, and review. So let's start with prepare. So when you get the assignment, the writing assignment or whatever, when you know you have to do the writing, you just find the topic first, what topic that you have to do, what topic that you're going to write, what topic you're interested in. And then the first thing is set a schedule. What is set a schedule? Set a schedule is you have to estimate how long each step will take. For example, you have 1 month's time to complete the assignment, and you have to think about what time you should finish which step. For example, you might have 3 steps: research step, writing step, and edit steps. So let's say you're gonna spend 15 days on the research, because it takes a lot of time, of course, obviously. And the second part, you have 10 days to write it after you complete the research part, and another 5 days in order to edit your articles and submit the work. So that's how you do it. You have to break things out from a big thing to small thing and put it in the timetable. Set everything specifically, like you have to do the research between the 1st to the 15th of that month, and you have to do the writing after that for the next 10 days, and you have to do the edit in the next 5 days. And moreover, if you can like just be more specific on the days, such as the first 15 days you might research. So let's say you have 3 books, so you have 3 books to research on. So let's say the first book you're gonna take about 5 day times, and the second books you have to 5 day times, and another 5 day time for another book. So that's how you do it. Okay, let's move on to the next process. This is quite simple one, so it's determine your purpose. Alright, so do you want your reader or listener to think, feel, or act differently based on your articles? For example, is your purpose to entertain, or to inform, or to explain, or to persuade, or to order? That which is quite different, so you have to determine it. What is your purpose for the reader or the listener? So if it's about scientific, so it might be explain. The purpose might be explained. So if you have the rules or the tips for the student, it might be inform. So just determine it. You know what to do, I think. So that's it. So move on to the next one. You have to do the permanently reading and research. Gather information by reviewing reference materials such as articles or encyclopedia. Check the list of the related references at the end of the reference book. So if you do the research deeply, your content will be more just better, and it's better for the reader too, because you have a lot of information, so you can put those information in your article, and your article will be just great. That's it. And next one, so narrow your topic. After you finish your reading, your research, you just have to focus on specific topic and narrow it down. So after you have tons of information, a lot of it, you have to just break it into smaller topics, and just focus on the topic that you are only interested in. So for example, instead of speaking about health problem in America, you can just narrow it down to cigarette smoking among kids, or cigarette advertising should be banned. Some kind like that, because in order to be more specific, and yes, if you are specific enough, your topic gonna be more interesting, instead of speaking the general big topic that's quite a wide and not really impact. So that's another tips. Let's move on to the next one. So write the thesis statement. The thesis is the main point or central idea of the paper in one sentence. So it's just like the main idea, kind of like that. So your thesis should describe your topic, what you want to convey about what you research on. A good thesis statement is undefined, and clear. For example, smoking among teenagers girls is rising due to influence of peers and advertising that glamorizing smoking. So remember, you can revise your thesis statement as you do more research. So as I told you, you can narrow your topic down, and you can change it sometimes if you want. And so that's not a fixed form, but the point is you have to describe your topic clearly in one sentence. So that's how you do the thesis statement. It's like a clear guideline for you in the future to know what you are doing, because it's like you have to look at the main thesis to know your main purpose, what you are doing, what you are writing, and then just continue the work. Just like the main, it's like topic idea in your paragraph writing, just like that. It's easy as that. So let's move on to the next one. All right, let's talk about the last topic in the preparation phase. So the last topic in the prep phase is to take notes. It is one big important step, so you can't miss this step. It's the most convenient way to record the things that you read and will support you a lot in the future. For example, when you gonna do the writing process, or when you want to recap what did you read, what did you research on, you just read your notes, which is already shortened from the article. You don't have to spend that much time on the articles. You just read on your note and you will remember what you want to read, what you want to write. So it shortens your time and it supports you a lot in the future. So the way you note it, it depends on you. So you can just note it in the book, note it in the notebook, or in the 3x5 note card, or in the flashcard, whatever you want. So just just do it whatever you want. The things that you have to note on are topics, author's full name, title of articles, publishers, summaries, quotation, and relevance. So let me talk a bit more on each thing. So topic, it's like the bullet point, the main points of it. So just remember that you have to note about which topic that you are interested in, with topic that you read. So when you want to jump back to the book, you just don't really have to read the whole book again. Just go looking for the topic that you want to know more, and you want to recap, just read it, and that's it. The next one is the writer name. So many might wonder, like, why do we have to put on the writer name on the notes? So from this, you have to, when it's come to the reference part, you have to put the writer name on the reference part in order to tell the reader like who read it or where you get your information from, and that's it. Moreover, if you want to study more about his or her work, you can just Google their name on the Google, or just find their name on the library, so you can have more article about that person if you want to research deep down on their work. So that's it. The next one is the publisher. So you have to tell who published it. Just as I told you, just put it in the reference part. And the next one is title of the book. So you will know like which book you put that information from. So as I told you, when you want to recap the information, you can find the right book and just reread again or whatever you want. So if you don't note it, and imagine you have tons of information and you want to reread, you want to do the research again, but you don't know which book, because like, trust me, when it's come to the university or it's come to the work, you just don't research on one book. You have to research on maybe tens or almost 100 books. So that's why you have to write the title of the book on the note. And the next one is the summary. You have to summarize all the content or the articles in that short note. So you have to know the general topic on that. So what is talk about, who, what, why, when, why, how, just like that. And it will shorten your time when you reread again. You don't have to reread the whole book again. So next one is relevance. Include why you think this makes sense to include. So example, articles provide compiled data on caffeine contents, which most likely is much higher than the average consumer relies. Specific energy drinks and espresso have extreme high amounts of caffeine, which have become popular drinks for teens as well as adults. So it's like, see, that's the small detail that you can add on, just like that. And last one, quotation. It's just a quote that you can put it on just in order to maybe it's something important, something like a speech that quite important, so you just put it on the note as well. That's it. The next process is organize. In this process, you have to organize your paper in the right form, and you have to do the research furthermore a little bit. So let's talk about the steps in the organized process. So first, you have to develop an article outline. You have to organize your paper. So you just break it into parts such as the body parts, the conclusion parts, the introduction part, and just like that. So just organize your paper, like how you're gonna write it, just like that. And next, you have to do a little bit more research, do a depth research. So let's say you already finished the first research and you have to do it a little bit more. So look for specific information and data and that support your main idea, your point. And then just look for the relevant topics and just do more research in order to develop your content and be more detailed. That's it. And the last one is revise your outline as needed. So when you already have outline and research, you can just reread it again, revise your outline. So you know what is your major topic, what is your subtopics, and what is the topic that you want to include more. So let's say you want to include about your major topic, so you just do more research on that. Just like a general review, general revise again, and just add or cut something that you want, the thing that you want in and something that you don't want out, and do more research a little bit in order to make it more perfect. That's it. The third process, which is writing. People might think writing gonna be difficult, but actually if you do enough research, if you have done enough research before, if you have enough information, it's gonna be way more easier, because those research gonna help you when you write. So in this part, we have three main things, which are introductions, bodies, and conclusion in the writing part. So let's start with introduction. Introduction is the opening of the writing. It have to stage for the main points. It have to tell what is the main point of your articles, and it have to capture the audience's attention. So it have to define term as well. So let's go back to the part that I said that it's capture audience's attention. So the point of introduction is it have to be a strong opening. So let's say when you going to watch a movie at the theater, and introduction is a trailer of the movie. So if it's not interesting, the people that's gonna watch it's gonna walk away, and it's easy as that. So you have to make it interesting, and it have to set the stage of the main point. It have to capture all the points that you're trying to make. So basically it's just like the strong opening, as I told you. And you have to use active voice only. You cannot use passive voice in the introduction part. Alright, that's it. Let's move on to the main body. Alright, the main body is the most important things in the writing. You have to write everything that you're trying to communicate with readers on the main body part. The main body is the heart of your paper of speech. So it's, as I told you, it tells everything. It should be presented logically and stand out as a unit. Your research note will help you find support elements. If you remember that I talk about the research note, this will help you in your writing. So if you want to recap the information, you just look back to your research note. That's it. So the main body explain main point in your own words, and use direct quote when you want to state the original source. So you can add some ideas that you have been read before and just put it in that. That's it.
Academic writing is not an easy task. You need enough knowledge and experiences in order to perfect your writing. To be more effective at your writing, you must know all these 7 steps. The method is called the 7 C's of writing. The first C is be concise. Try to write a word in plain language and avoid words that are unnecessary. Cut any phrases that do not support your main point. The second C is be concrete. Use strong words that illustrate the conditions rather than the words that your readers need to repeat themselves many times in order to understand it. Try to write all the sentences in active voice because it's easier to understand, and avoid weak adjective or adverb words such as nice, good, greatly, and badly. The third C is be clear. Never assume that your readers has a prior information. Avoid using technical terms, cliches, or slang. If you really need to use technical words, please consider include definitions for your readers. The fourth C is be correct. Choose precise words and grammatically correct sentence. Compare your works with other works. And before you publish it, check your spelling and punctuations carefully. The fifth C is be coherent. Your message should flow smoothly and your transition between topics must be clear. Don't forget to include interesting facts, examples, and story into your writing. The sixth C is be complete. Include all necessary information and ask yourself, will your reader understand your message? Revise your writing in your audience perspective. What questions they might ask, and try to answer all the unanswered questions. The seventh C is be considerate. Respect your reader by presenting a professional paper. Use respectful tone. Do not talk down to your audience or use prejudiced language. Avoid using words that are biased in terms of sex, disability, and ethnic group. So let's talk about online writing. When posting material online, the purpose is usually the same as for writing a class paper. Also, the techniques are very similar, including providing support materials and examples. These are some specific tips to help you with your online writing. 1. The point of your writing is to express your own opinion, so do it respectfully. 2. Write a creative headline that convey your main message. 3. If your message is longer than 3 paragraphs, then break it with subhead, so that the post is easy to scan. 4. Limit your words to be no more than 250 words. 5. Use bullet point for example or to stress information. Bullets will help you catch reader attention. 6. Don't forget to include many key terms to attract more readers. 7. Add link to credible websites in order to support your writing. 8. Always copy edit before you post. Nothing hurts your credibility more than typos and grammatical mistakes. 9. Prepare to follow on your audience feedback once you publish your blog. Your audience feedback will be very useful in your future works. So let's talk about writing citations. There are many ways to write citations. Ask your instructor which documentation style is preferred. Each academic category has its own suitable format. The first format is the Modern Language Association, or MLA of America. It's often preferred for humanities such as philosophy, language, art, and so on. The second format is American Psychological, or APA. The format is commonly used for social science, psychology, and education. The third format is called the Council of Biology Editor, or CBE. It's primarily used for the natural or physical science. Let's take a look at MLA format. The various formats are quite similar. The MLA style uses the simplest punctuations and is acceptable in many situations. The elements of an MLA citations are authors, book titles, place of publications, publisher, year of publications, and page number. Let's take a look at the next format, the APA format. The APA style generally uses a combination of in-text citations and reference list. Text citation uses an auto-date system, such as Nielsen, the name of the publisher, comma, 2004, which is years of publications. Items in the reference list usually contain the following elements: author, year of publications, and publisher. So, what actually is the fair use? Fair use is the legal and ethical use of a direct quote from the internet or another source, including books, in something you claim as your own work. According to the U.S. Copyright Office, fair use limited to these following quotations: quotation of excerpt in a review or criticism for purpose of illustrations or comments, quotation of short passage in scholarly or technical works, for illustrations or clarifications of other observations, or used in a parody of some of the content of the work parodied. Even when the quotation is within the fair use guidelines, it is essential to give a reference to a footnote or other indications that these words were written by somebody else, not you.
Welcome to the edit phase. Edit phase this is where you turn your good paper into excellent paper. First, we do revise. What you are going to do in revise is do a word count. You have to keep your words in your perimeter, not too long, not too short. Read your paper out loud to get the overall sense of meaning. Does it flow? Does it not flow? Don't overuse the same word to start the sentence. Like example, your subject. Don't use the same she and she and she. You may change this a little bit so it won't be, boring. Now, rework your paragraph. Does the paragraph contain one idea in a topic sentence? Is the idea well supported? I don't know. You're welcome. Recheck your outline. As you revise, stay focused on your purpose. Keep in the outline. And next, review sentence structure. Everything in the grammar, punctuation, tense, everything. Check them if it's correct or not. Spell check, spelling errors. Secondly, move on from revise to revise again. You have to do the number one again. Read your paper out loud. Does it flow? If anything to edit. Number three, confer with your instructor. With your instructor, you will discuss with them on what to add, what to cut. Most instructors, they will review your paper and make some suggestions. They always do that. So yeah, confer with your instruction and your instructor. Number four, prepare your final draft. Now, follow your instructions, outline, guidelines. Prepare your final draft, write them down, something like that. Print them on a hard paper, hard copy, on a good quality paper, of course. This is very important. Now, cite your sources. Now, where you get the quote from, where you get this information from, and when or who, where you take your research. Now, we move to the sixth. Add title page and page numbers if required. On the edit, you have to make sure if every page is connected or not. You have to make sure of that. Move on from edit phase to review. You have to proofread by carefully reading through your work one more time. You have to understand what you could have done to have a better score, and anything to add. Always keep a backup on hard copies. That is very important, because in case you lose the original, you always have the backup. And understand, you have to role playing as you are an audience, and read them again like you're not someone who make them, and try to understand your own words. Now, in conducting research, you have to use some of your critical thinking. The purpose of research is to find information and ideas about the topic that you are going to understand. Research help you support opinions and information that you will need. It will give you the overview of the subject on what you may need to know. To use the library for research, I recommend you use the library for research, because you can ask the guidance at the beginning of research, because they can save you hours of time and frustration. So this is where you can find in library books, reference materials, and etc. The guidance, they will tell you, the librarian, they will tell you which section do you need to go for, what kind of book do they recommend to you, and straight to the point. In the library, you don't have to spend hours in online to find your keywords and trying to get into some website, wasting your own time and risk your computer to getting hacked and all that. Now, if you don't care about your computer getting hacked, taking your search online, so to do that, you go into your search engine, right, and identify your keywords and ideas and put them down and put them into search and hit enter. And also, those information will pop up that you will need, and find your website that you fancied about, and click into them, start reading, start your research.